The novel Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell is one of those books that can change a life. Bringing us through the obstacles and emotional turmoil involved with young love, it is sure to change your perspective on things in your life, educating you on the effects of abuse, bullying, parental influence, and many other common issues. Rowell does a fantastic job making and leaving a strong impact on the reader, making it one of those books you must read.
Rainbow Rowell, the talented and compelling author who lives in Omaha, Nebraska with her family. She writes books mostly about people and their obstacles through life. A lot of her inspiration for this book came from her own life and beliefs. One major one is her belief about young love. She always believed that young love would never last, it was destined to fail. All young love stories are just variations of Romeo and Juliet, inspiring the story of Eleanor and Park. Another thing about her is her love for music. As she wrote, she assigned songs to go with each scene and character, forming a playlist for each book she writes, available on Spotify. Eleanor, the new girl, and Park, a boy who has lived in the neighborhood all his life, yet he still does anything possible not to draw attention to himself, until the first day of school when Eleanor is forced to sit next to him on the bus. For weeks they sit together, exchanging awkward silences, but once they discover their similarities, they begin to form a bond over their mutual love for music and comic books. Soon finding comfort in one another, they begin to look forward to any instance where they see each other. Although the romance is only beginning, we wonder if it will last, with Eleanor having to cope with being bullied and dealing with her alcoholic stepfather at home. But sure enough, she finds refuge at Park's house, or at least she thinks, thus forming the heartbreaking story, Eleanor and Park.
The character Park is different than the people in his school, but not in such a way that they really bother him about it. He wears mostly black at any given time, he reads comic books and listens to weird music, and he even wore eyeliner to school at one point. But due to past relationships, experiences, and just being there his whole life, he is generally accepted as the weird Asian kid and left alone. Eleanor, however, is weird in ways that catch people's attention. She wears men's clothes and strange jewelry and has curly, bright red hair. The students of her school are not so happy about her being this way, and make her life difficult because of it. The two meet on the bus and eventually realize that their combined weirdness is just fine for them.
This book is set in 1986 in Omaha, Nebraska, the hometown of Rainbow Rowell at the time. The time period is definitely an important aspect of the issues in this book. This book wouldn't work without the lack of cell phones and social media in this period. Eleanor's isolation from Park, and one major problem of their love story, is from Eleanor's family's lack of a telephone. These little details all contribute to Eleanor and Park's desperation for one another. Also important is their music references to the 80s and the popularity of comic books, something we don't see as commonly now.
Rainbow Rowell wrote this book to show that young love, while sometimes beautiful, rarely lasts. There are just too many things you can't control, and that's really the theme of the book. You can't necessarily control everything.
One important passage reveals an important theme of the meaning of true love. Real love has no prejudice. On page 165, it says, Eleanor was right. She never looked nice. She looked like art, and art wasn't supposed to look nice. It was supposed to make you feel something. Another passage that is really important to another theme is on page 301. What are the chances you'd ever meet someone like that, he wondered. Someone you could love forever, someone who would forever love you back. And what do you do when that person was born half a world away? The math seemed impossible. This shows the major theme of the story about not being able to control everything, and how sometimes young love is beautiful and wonderful, but has a large chance of failing. Sensory descriptions and similes in this novel are frequently presented, emphasizing their feelings about one another and helping us grasp the feeling of being young and in love. For example, holding Eleanor's hand was like holding a butterfly, or a heartbeat, and Park's shirt smelled like Irish Spring, and a little bit like potpourri, and like something she couldn't describe any other way than boy.
Eleanor and Park is a beautiful, heartbreaking piece of literature. Taking us through the ups and downs of young love, this book is one that, as stated before, can change a life. It gives many new perspectives on things such as young love, poverty, and even comic books. We loved it. This book will make you laugh, cry, and relive your experience of being young and in love. If you've read and enjoyed books such as The Fault in Our Stars and The Perks of Being a Wallflower, you'll likely love this book as well.